They taught us that the story ended in 1776, that freedom was won, that the chapter closed. But history doesn't end, it evolves. This story isn't about villains and heroes, it's about systems and how quietly they shape our lives. Every hero's journey begins the same way, with comfort, with belief, with the idea that hard work will always be enough. America's hero moment was independence, a young nation standing up to the most powerful empire on earth against impossible odds, against a global superpower. And America won, or at least that's where the textbooks pause. Because after the battlefields went silent, something else began, something quieter, something far more patient. Britain learned a lesson the hard way. Armies are expensive. Empires built only on force eventually break, so they adapted. Instead of controlling land, they refined control of flow, money, trade. Banking, debt, institutions, not through conquest, through design. America didn't inherit British rulers. It inherited British systems. At first, those systems worked beautifully. Industry exploded, opportunity expanded, and middle class was born. This was the rise phase of the hero's journey. Momentum, confidence, the belief that tomorrow would always be better than today, and for a long time it was. But every journey has a turning point, the moment where the rules quietly change. It didn't come with alarms, no headlines, no collapse, just a slow realization spreading across ordinary lives. People worked harder, longer hours, more skills, more education, yet stability slipped, savings thinned, debt grew heavier. The hero was still running, but the ground beneath was changing. This is where fear enters the story, not fear of enemies, fear of falling behind. Because systems don't need to be evil to be dangerous, they just need to stop serving the people they were built for. Banking became abstract, debt became normalized, ownership quietly shifted upward. The system didn't collapse, it concentrated. And here's the uncomfortable truth. No foreign power needed to control America. America trusted the system because it once worked. That's the real trap of every great empire's story. Past success makes future warnings easy to ignore. This isn't about Britain versus America, it's about how ideas outlive nations. The British Empire faded, but its financial logic didn't disappear. It went global. Most people think control looks like force, like soldiers, guns, and flags. But real control, the kind that shapes societies, often looks boring. It looks like interest rates, complex regulations, and legal language that no one ever reads. It's decisions made in rooms far away from our daily lives. That's precisely why it's so effective. No one feels directly attacked. They just feel tired. This is a classic phase in the hero's journey, often called the long road. Here, the hero isn't fighting dragons or monsters. They're fighting sheer exhaustion. You can see this everywhere around you. It takes 2 incomes to afford the same house our parents bought on 1 salary. College degrees no longer guarantee security. Healthcare can feel like a high-stakes gamble, and the dream of retirement seems to move further away with each passing decade. People don't look at this and say the system is broken. Instead, they say, I must be failing. This is the most dangerous moment for any civilization, when individuals start to internalize systemic problems. And here's what creates the urgency. This pattern isn't new. Rome reached this stage. Spain reached this stage. The British Empire reached this stage. It didn't happen when they were weak, but when they were at their strongest. That's the moment when a system stops rewarding genuine effort and starts rewarding position. Owning becomes more profitable than working. Access trumps skill. Assets beat labor. Once that equation flips, the story accelerates. People delay starting families, communities start to thin out, and trust quietly erodes. The hero, the everyday person, begins to question the journey itself. Is all this struggle worth it? Will my kids have a better life? And America, strong, confident, victorious America, became the most powerful host for this cycle. But hero journeys don't just automatically end in triumph. They end in awakening. The real danger isn't a dramatic collapse. The danger is normalization, when the constant struggle becomes routine, when instability feels normal, and when we blame ourselves instead of questioning the structure we're in. But here's the calm truth. Systems can be redesigned. Awareness can change outcomes. History doesn't just repeat blindly. It responds to our actions. This story isn't told to create anger or division. It's told to create clarity. The people who lived under past empires are long gone. Today's world is full of ordinary, hardworking, good people everywhere. This isn't about blaming nations. It's about understanding the systems we inherit. Because once you see the system for what it is, you stop fighting shadows and you start choosing better paths forward. Every hero's journey ends the same way, not with victory over an external enemy, but with wisdom. And that's all this story is trying to offer. Understanding is power, but only if we face it honestly. Is the future shrinking? That question isn't political. It's deeply human. And here is a twist that most stories completely miss. America is at the end of its journey. It's at a choice point. See, history doesn't lock in outcomes. It just shows us the probabilities. And awareness bends those probabilities. This is where calm returns, because systems only look permanent until people finally understand them. Think about it. Every major reset in history came after a moment of realization. It wasn't riots first, it was understanding first. Banking reforms, labor protections, the rebuilding of the middle class, new social contracts. These weren't accidents. They were direct responses to a collective understanding. The hero doesn't win by destroying the world. The hero wins by refusing to accept a future that's smaller than the past. Now here's something really important, something grounding. This story isn't anti-American, it's not anti-British, it's not anti-anyone. The people alive today didn't design these centuries-old systems. We inherited them. Most people, everywhere, want the same things: stability, dignity, and a future that feels fair. Understanding our history isn't about assigning guilt. It's about avoiding repetition. Because the real enemy of every great empire was never another nation, it was denial. And the real strength of America has never been domination, it has always been adaptation. The hero's journey doesn't end when the hero realizes the truth. It ends when the hero decides what to do with it. And that decision is being made right now, by all of us. If this helped you see the bigger picture, not with anger, not with blame, but with clarity, then stay with us. Like the video so it can reach more people who need context, not just noise. Share it with someone who feels like something is off but can't quite explain why. And subscribe, because history doesn't repeat loudly. It repeats quietly. Understanding it early changes everything. We're not here to hate, we're here to understand. See you in the next one.